I can be a gentleman and let you have the seat if you'd like it, Carrie.
I really don't think in this case it matters. We're okay.
I don't want your little legs getting tired. They're the avatar legs.
My little avatar. It's perfectly fine. Thank you, though. What a gentleman you are.
21 years of husband training.
There you go. She taught you well. Where's Mark? Mark, are you there?
Jim, you are such a phenomenal moderator. And the reason I know this is because we had a very amazing iConversation via Zoom just the other day. And so, Jim, can you step in and moderate this panel since you are so phenomenal at it?
Well, getting me to talk is never a problem. It's getting me to shut the hell up. So yes, I'll absolutely
be a moderator. Stacey will sit on the panel, and we've got this. Let's do it. All right.
Let's do it. So what, I got all the super women here of eXp Realty. Again, look at this. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. And it's okay for me to say this because my wife's here. eXp attracts the best looking agents in the world. Look at this panel up here we've got. This is going to be a great one. I can't wait. For those of you who are checking this out, and maybe you're seeing this and you're not part of eXp, just know that icons are agents who have hit certain performance requirements, certain amount of sales that they've had. And what happens is when you become an icon, you get your $16,000 cap back in company stock. You actually get to build equity in your business. And so these are all superstars that you're going to see up here. And we're going to ask them a series of questions, and they're going to answer those, and you'll be able to take notes and you'll be able to copy it. Because at eXp, we believe in collaboration versus competition. So it's going to be great here. We're going to start off, and I'm just going to go from left to right, which means I'm going to be starting with Stacey first. And what you're going to find interesting is because we're in the same room, her icon is going to be talking out, her avatar is going to be talking out of my head, because otherwise we get feedback going on in the same room when they're both running. So I'm going to start with Stacey here, and actually we have everybody introduce yourself. Stacey, tell your story, and then we'll go down the line. How you got started in real estate? How long you been in the business?
Hello, everyone. We've been in real estate since 1997. We first started in new builds, and now we are working on, we're now counting in decades. When someone says, how long have you been in real estate? That's going on 3 decades.
Stacey started when she was 5, just so everybody knows. So that's what we're doing on that. So we've been in a long time. Let's go to Carrie Wheeler next. Carrie, tell everybody how long you've been in real estate, where you came from, and why you joined eXp.
Well, thank you, Jim. I told a little bit about earlier in leadership, but once again, my story is a little different, and I like to tell it now because I'm finding it is a different story. I've been in real estate for 2 years, going on 3 years now as a whole. I come from an extremely small town. I said earlier, 1,700 in my town of Biggs, California, which is in Northern California. My next largest town to me is a little over 5,000. So, hey, we're getting bigger and bigger. But I want to just more than anything else, let people know that it doesn't matter if you're in a rural area like I am, if you're in the city, that you can icon. And the reason why is it's not so much from selling the $1 million properties that allow you to icon, it's your quantity of what you do. So whatever you put into this, you can get out of it. And I love that platform and that playing field because it gives people like myself who do live in rural California, Northern California, and very small towns, the opportunity to achieve. So thank you, eXp, for that.
I love that story, Carrie. Congratulations on being an icon. I'm going to go to Samantha Ray next. Samantha, same question. Introduce yourself to everyone. Tell them why you joined eXp.
Hey, everyone. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Why did I join eXp? Well, I started in real estate in 2015, came to a brand new state, never sold real estate, never lived in the state, and but I met the love of my life and decided I was going to move to Kentucky from Indiana, and I started at RE/MAX. I was there and really, really happy. I was there for 4.5 years. And then I just heard about eXp, and I kind of shoved it aside and was like, no, I don't want to listen. I'm happy at RE/MAX. You know how it happens. That's exactly my story. So anyway, once I heard a little bit of it, I kept just thinking about it and thinking, it can't be real. It can't be real. And so finally, I just dug in and did my own research. And I thought, you know what? I crunched the numbers and I was paying Remax a little bit more, not a ton, but I was paying Remax a little bit more than what I would be paying EXP. But I didn't have all the perks. I didn't have the revenue share. I didn't have the stock. And I certainly couldn't earn my cap back. So once I learned all of that, it was a no-brainer and I switched within a week. So anyway, here I am and I'm still extremely happy. I am getting ready to earn Icon the second time.
Congratulations, Samantha. What an incredible story on that, getting started in 2015 and already an icon. Congrats on that. I'm going to go to Stephanie Gillison next. Stephanie, introduce yourself to people who don't already know you. I saw you speaking during the last session, so they may have heard the story, but we'd love to hear it again for people who are watching this on the YouTube for ICONversations.
Absolutely, Jim. I am Stephanie Gillison. I am out of Louisville, Kentucky, and I started into real estate right after I graduated college in 1999, started building my first real estate company at 21 years old. And that's what I spent my entire career doing. Fast forward to about 3.5 years ago, this company found me, and I'm so grateful that they did, because I brought my entire brokerage over to EXP with honestly the idea of being able to step down and not be a principal broker. However, I got into this company and I got immediately addicted and turned head over heels in love with the fact that I am here to serve agents, and that's my true love. I completely turned my real estate business over to my real estate team, who does 100% of it. So I sit on the stage as an icon because I've mastered being able to build a team that can go out and implement the same sales techniques, the same listing techniques that I always have. And because of my real estate team, I'm able to have been the Kentucky DMB for 3.5 years, then moved over to a regional operations manager at eXp Realty, and 9 months ago started as building eXp Commercial alongside of our president, Jim Wong, and we are building the state-of-the-art commercial brokerage for all of you and for all of those agents out there that are needing to find that spot so that they too can have success stories just like all of us sitting on this stage.
Congratulations, Stephanie. And I know everybody's looking forward to the commercial real estate symposium next week that you and Jim Wong are putting on. It's going to be incredible. So, Mark, we're going to go to you next. You got big shoes here to fill. You got all the power women of EXP before you, but everybody'd like to hear your story.
Sure, yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited to be here. Stephanie, I know you're famous for, I know of you, so I'm very excited to be on the panel with you. So yeah, my name is Mark Rawmaker. I'm based in Orlando, Florida. I got into real estate at the end of 2016. I was with Keller Williams. My wife and I were on a team. We were team members. And in 2018, we got introduced to EXP. I just always felt Keller Williams taught me a lot, but I felt a little out of place there. I built my business on being different and trying to brand myself and just be a little different than everybody else. I didn't want to say the same thing everybody else did. I wanted to do the same thing everybody else did, but I wanted to earn my own business. So we came over to EXP 2018, just her and I, not really wanting to build a team. And then that's just kind of what happened. We actually built a team. So we started with a smaller team here in Orlando, and then we've actually expanded. 2020 was one of those years where, a lot of people lost their jobs, and we saw a great opportunity to help other agents or help other people become agents. So we grew our team from 4 people in 2 cities in 2020 to 23 people in 5 cities in 2021. So we have a team in Orlando, Nashville, Louisville, New York, New Jersey, and Asheville, North Carolina, 6 cities now. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. This is I'm Icon 2 years in a row. So I'm really happy to be here and share some information if I can.
Great job, Mark. I love it. And I want to tell the crowd, if you have specific questions you'd like Icons to answer, please feel free to put them in the chat box and we'll try to get to them as we're going on here. We have some preset questions we're going to go with, but if you have something that's good, if it's a question you have, it's probably a question that other agents have, because what you're looking at here are what we call unfinished products. What do we mean by that is everybody on this stage has had massive success, but they're all trying to get better. And I just want you to know that where you're at in your business, we've all been there before. And hopefully this can help you get to the next level where you want to go. So I'm going to go over here to Stacy next. And Stacy, to what do you contribute your Icon success? I mean, how did you do it? And how long did it take you to reach this level of production?
So one thing that helped with Icon is it kind of already morphed when we joined EXP. The way we handle our business, Icon is based off of obviously production and then giving back to the community. So one thing, I just had this conversation with what we call our tribe, our family at EXP. Every person and every deal counts. And I hate to say deal as far as a deal, but if you think about it, we have leads coming in that literally, even if it's a 60 or 70 or $80,000 deal, I've taught our family and our tribe that you help everyone. And that plays into the production part and the units that are needed for Icon. And then giving back to the community. Jim and I actually have 2 nonprofits that we co-founded. So that kind of leads in. I love the giving back part. I love the part as far as helping everybody else reach where it's kind of, you kind of lead with failure and lead with success at the same time.
Yeah, a mentor of ours taught us 24 years ago to grow with your network. No deal is too small, and boy, was that wise advice. So I'm going to go to Carrie Wheeler next. Carrie, how do you delegate? And then what do you delegate, right? Because agents were so busy, right? We're always so busy. How do you delegate?
Well, that's a great question, because my first year, I closed 30 deals my first year, and I really did not know what the heck I was doing, but I'm one of those people that just jump in and do it and learn by doing, so to speak. My second year, which I'm in now, completing that, going into my third year in November, I started learning, okay, I'm heading north of 30 deals at this point too, hoping to Icon again here. But I learned that, number one, you have, at least for me, I can't say for everyone, but for me, a TC, your transaction coordinator, is incredibly important. I learned that right off, because you need to be out there marketing and selling and helping your clients. And like I said, adding to your community, and sitting home and doing all that paperwork, with all these transactions going at one time, is just mind boggling. So when I hired my transaction coordinator, life changer, major life changer. So that was huge. Then I started realizing, okay, I have all these deals, I have all these receipts, I have all this paperwork, which you all will start, and you probably already have all that. I'm like, I need somebody to help me file all this and keep myself organized and keep going. So that's when I hired an assistant. That's all I have. I do have a marketing person as well that helps me. He's wonderful too. But that's it. I'm not a team. I'm my own little person. But I did realize at the very beginning, if you want to grow and you want to really be successful, I said, do the best job for your clients and your community. You really do need to delegate some of this responsibility. And it was interesting. I was on a mastermind, Icon mastermind deal not too long ago, where a man, he had a formula where he put in his worth. So basically you do some mathematical equation, you figure out what you're worth per hour. When I looked at that at the very beginning, I'm like, oh, I can't afford this. Oh, I better not do this. This is going to be too expensive. Now I understand I cannot not afford to do this. I am wasting too many hours to try to do my filings and all the paperwork, when actually that should have been delegated out.
I love it. Very wise advice, Carrie. That's great for everybody. I hope they got that on there. So we're going to go to Samantha Ray next. Samantha, there's so many different things to do as a real estate agent, right? You've got all these things, but let's say you're crazy busy. What is your number one priority every single day? Like, what do you do every day, no matter what?
That's a really good question. So every day, no matter what, is following up with leads. Whether they're cold leads, warm leads, you follow up with your leads, but also you can't forget about your past clients, and you can't forget about the ones who are active and ready to go. So I think a lot of agents probably forget about their past clients, but your past clients want to hear from you, and they're going to recommend you. So if you don't set aside time to stay in touch with them by sending them cards, by just sending them a quick text, everybody loves to receive something in the mail to open. Send them a card, let them know you're thinking about them. All of those things are really important. So no matter what, no matter how crazy my day is, those 3 things happen. I stay in touch with my active folks, I stay in touch with my cold ones, and I also reach out to my past clients. Now, I don't reach out to all of them, obviously, but if I'm reaching out to 2 or 3 past clients a day, that's awesome.
I love that, Samantha. Great advice on that. I think that's awesome. National Association of Realtors says that every person you know knows 5 people that will do a real estate transaction sometime in the next 6 months. So staying in touch with your past clients, that's great. I'm going to go to Stephanie Gillison next. Now, Stephanie, you're running the commercial, the director of commercial operations, everything like that. But when you were an agent, because a lot of people out here that are agents, what did your daily schedule look like? Did you use time blocking?
Oh, 100%. Everything I've ever done in my entire career has been scheduled. And so every morning religiously, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m., I picked up the phone. Not only was I calling new cold leads, but I was also staying in touch with my past clients. And it wasn't reaching out to them necessarily asking for business. It was asking, how are you? You know, how's your kids? Are they graduating this year? It was having that conversation. My entire career has been built on building relationships. Real estate is all about the relationship. And when you can get personal with people, they're going to trust you more. You've got to show people that you care. And even to this day, I still enjoy those conversations. It's so easy for us to send a text message. And yes, you know, we've got to use texting. But a lot of times, especially in the level of real estate that I dealt with and still do with commercial and luxury and things, they want to be spoken to. They want to hear your voice. They want to know that you care. And one of the simple things that I used to do, because after so long of being in the business, your database gets to be so big, but you can't forget about those people. And so I would do the voicemail drops so that way they heard from me. And it could be a simple message, you know, that went out to 43,000 people in my database that just said, hey, Stephanie Gillison, I haven't spoken to you in a while, and I just wanted to know how you were doing. Give me a call back when you have time. And I would do that, and I still do that today. My team uses my voice because I spent 20 years building my brand, and that brand is extremely powerful. And also sending them that email or, you know, just staying in touch. You know, I made it my job to make sure that not a week went by that my entire database got something from me. And that's what you have to do, because when you're out of sight, you're out of their mind. So stay in their sight and stay in their mind.
I love that, Stephanie. And I know I'm going to get a million of these questions in the chat box, so I'm just going to preemptively ask here, what are you using to do a voicemail drop? What tool are you using? Could you tell everyone?
You know, if you're on the eXp Realty side, we have KV Core, which is phenomenal. And I encourage every single one of you to master it. But right inside of KV Core is a voicemail drop messaging system. It's phenomenal. So use it. And then that way, those cold leads that have come into your KV Core, they can get that message from you as well. And start building that relationship. You can send out, I don't even know how many there are. I don't know, by the thousands you can send those out. So master KV Core too.
Yeah, use the tools we have on there. So, Mark, I had a question. Great stuff, Stephanie. So, Mark, I had a question from Sean Williams, 186 from the crowd. Question for Mark. How do you operate a team in multiple states with different licensing systems, business practices, et cetera? What kind of support do you offer team members in states other than the one where you are based?
Sure, very carefully. Yeah, I'll break it down a little bit. So, the main thing you really need is we have two versions. We have the version of the Home Squad that has the experienced agent in the market that can kind of basically build their own team, build their own brand. And then we have New Jersey and New York, and Asheville, they're brand new agents. So we've leaned on the mentorship, which is pretty cool. So that they basically have us, we go through a training. We have a huge boot camp training with all of our new agents. And a lot of it's real estate sales training outside of the EXP training, and just a double down. And then we also have training on our systems personally. So that's how we do it there. And then with the experienced agent, they actually train the newer agents in their market, and they get a cut of it. They get a percentage, a referral fee to do that. And they're also usually in their downline as well. So that helps out. But it has its challenges, but as long as you have somebody there, that's really good. If you don't have somebody there, you can still teach them all you need to know about real estate sales, and then have them have a mentor that can teach them the contracts, teach them the logistics of that market. But it's worked out pretty good. There's definitely hiccups. There's definitely problem solving. And if you're transparent with everybody, letting them know you're trying to figure it out, it works out pretty good. But yeah, the systems that need to be in place are very important. And I also give them, they all have a transaction coordinator in each market as well. So my wife used to sell real estate with me, and she's become our transaction coordinator here in Orlando. And she helps all the markets just upload stuff to SkySlope, but then Louisville has one, Nashville has their own, New York has their own, Asheville has their own. So we take care of that for them, which helps a lot as well.
Love it, Mark. Leverage and scalability, right? That's awesome. Great stuff on that. That's beautiful. So I'm going to go back over here to Stacy. And Stacy, you're an Icon. This is your third time in 3 years being an Icon agent. So what's your secret sauce? Like, tell everybody your secret. What is it that gets you there?
So I'm going to mirror Stephanie a little bit. It's relationships, relationships, relationships. You're always cultivating them. And just think, and two, it's not just people that have actually signed on a purchase agreement with you. It is your friends, your family. You're always working your sphere. That is like your most solid lead generation base. And that's where we get like almost 90% of our business after 24 years is somehow out of our sphere. And then something too, on a different side of success, one thing that took me a long time to realize is every day when I get up, you got to focus on dollar producing activities. And I found out real fast that everybody else's urgency, which can be in the form of a text message, an email, is not my urgency. The people that are in my sphere that are clients that warrant our time. And that's what I focus on. I've gotten really good at prioritizing and realizing that I don't have to answer every email and every phone call and every text message that comes in.
I love that. That is great on that. So that is perfect. I'm going to go to Carrie Wheeler next. And Carrie, so here's what we know. No leads, no money, right? You got to have leads to make money. And so what is your most effective lead generation tool or process? And if you're using something specific, spill the beans, Carrie. Tell everybody what it is.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, Jim. So once again, starting out, and I'm probably some other agents out there who are just starting out, were in the same boat I was in. It's like, okay, I got my license. Now what? How do you start? How do you besides, bugging all your family and friends and mom, you need to go buy a house or something. But anyway, so what I decided to do was Zillow. And honestly, Zillow was a really good start for my first year. It just kind of sprang me right into, like I said, about 30 transactions. It was 30 exactly like my first year. Then interesting, what I'm hearing, from the rest of the panel, my second year, now like I said, going into my third now, all of a sudden, my past clients started being my referrals at that point. And the next thing you know, I didn't need Zillow anymore. All of a sudden, I was getting word of mouth. I was getting leads from past clients. And like I said, I'm just about getting close to a little over 30, about 30 right now. And I have not used Zillow. I did sign up at the beginning, but honestly, it's been such a crazy market that Zillow has been maybe less than 1% of everything that I've done this year. So there is a lot of truth in just making sure that your database is up to date. You're reaching out. It's incredibly important. KV Core is my database. I have dug into that, started that real strong this beginning of last year there. And what I have noticed is just tremendous leads on all my listings and so forth. You get like 47 leads in a day. That's incredible. That's nothing that any other like Zillow's or whatever can do for you. So KV Core has been an incredible tool, and I'm just thankful EXP has that to offer for all of us agents. But once again, keep in contact. It's your past clients and your past dealings is what is going to springfold to the next.
Carrie, that is absolutely great advice. I think that probably most agents here in EXP probably use maybe 1/10 of the capability of KV Core. And what a great benefit for EXP agents. I mean, it's $500 a month if you were not in EXP to go out and get the KV Core. It's crazy. So let's go to the next one with Samantha here. Samantha, let's stay on the lead generation track here because it's very important for agents. How much time do you spend in lead generation? And then what portion of your budget is lead generation?
Awesome, thank you. $0. And remember, I moved here from Indiana to Kentucky. Okay, so no sphere of influence. And the year that I switched to EXP was 2019, single agent, no assistant, and I did 58 transactions that year. It's all about social media. It's all about social media, and it's not. One thing that I think agents don't understand about social media is, first of all, if you're not on it, you're missing the boat. It's free. We absolutely need to be utilizing it. But if you're going to hop on social media and your entire conversation, and it is a conversation, Facebook and Instagram, it's there to be social. People want to socialize. If you're just posting your sales, or you're just posting, hey, give me a call the next time you need to buy a house, or whatever. If you're posting things like that, you might as well get off of social media, because that's not what it's for. That's not a great use of time. You have to post behind the scenes stories. What is it like in the day in the life of a real estate agent? People want to know. If they weren't interested, HGTV wouldn't be as big as it is. People want to know what we do. They want to know the things that we run into. They want to hear the stories. And if people can connect with you, they're going to remember you. They're going to continue following you. And then when they're ready, they're going to call you. But they have to feel like they know you. And if they don't know you, you can just forget about it. So social media is free. I don't even boost ads on social media. You guys can, for those of you who are EXP agents, we've already touched on it. But like they said, we don't use it as well as we all should. But if you're not utilizing custom text codes, I highly recommend that you hop on Inside Real Estate and you look that up and teach yourself, because those custom text codes are gold.
I love that, Samantha. And, you know, one thing that I was taught by Krista Mayshore, who's with EXP, is exactly what you said, but to send Facebook videos through Facebook Messenger. You can literally get on there and see with the little green dot who's on there and send them a nice video of you talking to them. And it's incredible the responses you'll get on that. I love the fact $0. There is no excuse for brand new agents out there that are watching this to not be producing leads. That is great. I love it. That is a gold star for the day. That was incredible. I love it. So we're going to go to the next question. Stephanie, we're going to go to you next on there. When you were selling, you're still selling, but when you were an agent getting started, how did you track your business, and what is the most effective tracking tool you're using?
You know, I was one of the people from the very beginning. You have to utilize a CRM. And I'm not talking Excel spreadsheets. I'm talking utilizing a true CRM. Set your tasks, set your goals. And so really having that goal chart right in front of me, I don't care if you go get a poster board, but that's what it's all about. And I would set an extreme high number so that I could achieve it, because we're not going to put on that poster board or whatever we're looking at something that's achievable. Go extreme and go high. I'll never forget. And the reason why I built my very first real estate company when I was 21 is because the first broker I went to said, "You're never going to do this." That is all I needed to hear, that I was going to go do it. And I was going to beat him in his entire career record because he put that fire in my belly. And I'm so grateful he said that to me. But that is exactly what we have to do. We have to set higher goals than what we feel we can achieve, but we have got to track it with a CRM. I put everything in my calendar. And because if we don't, we're going to go, I'll do it later. Well, later never comes, or we're going to do it tomorrow. No, it never comes. I don't go to bed at night without doing every single task on my list. And I promise you, it feels like there's millions some days, but we have to do it, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. That's the only way you're going to ever be successful in this business.
I love that, Stephanie. I love that answer. And, you know, if my mentor, John Maxwell, taught me this. It's okay to lead with failure when you're a leader. And if there's one mistake that we made early on in our career, and that was not tracking, no matter how small your business is right now, it's going to grow, and you've got to be tracking those numbers. You got to keep track of those names, those emails, the kids' birthdays, the dog and the cat's name that they have. Those things right there will multiply your business. Great stuff, Stephanie. I love it. That's great. I'm going to go to Mark. Hey, Mark, you're always trying to improve, right? It's a work in progress. What are you doing differently this year than you did last year to improve your numbers?
I'd probably say I'm I'm leveraging off more things so I can focus on my actual clients, because I'm still in full production, even though I have these teams. I'm actually have more sales than anybody else on the team, so I'm still the highest producer. So I would say building the systems out to like tracking my stuff and making sure I know when if somebody texts me or calls me a client and I'm with another client, because I feel myself really busy servicing clients or showing them homes or being on listing appointments, and somebody will text me and say, hey, can you call me real quick? I need to know what my house is worth. Yeah, from past clients or somebody. And if I'm not in real time and I don't respond, if I can't, then if I don't do it, I won't do it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where my head just gets going 100 miles an hour. So I have to have a system. So I have simple systems on my phone, whether it's notes or whether it's reminders that I have a to-do list. I simplify it a lot. I use KV Core pretty well, but something as simple as just notes on my phone, call Bob, call Steve, text Mary, you know what I mean? All this stuff just to keep it really simple. And then when I have a downtime between, I can be like, what do I need to do today? Because it's so hard to keep up, you know? So I would say my systems, just my personal systems, and it's not like I didn't pay any money for it. We all have those notes on our phones for free. You know, I would say I'm really intent on keeping that really succinct and really clean.
I love it, Mark. Great advice on that. And you know what I really love is I love our cloud world. If you guys didn't notice, is Stephanie Gillison got to jump off stage, left, launched the commercial national meeting for a second, and jump back on here. We've got people from all across the country, and we can launch multiple meetings at the same time. Isn't our technology amazing? I love it. Great answers on that, Mark. That's great. And by the way, again, just to remind the crowd, any questions you have that are direct questions, please type them in the chat box. You can direct them to one single person if you want, or if it's just in general for the panel, go ahead and pop it on there. I'm going to go back over here to Stacy. So Stacy, when your business is falling behind, right, where do you go for a booster?
No, I think you just go back to the basics. The basics changed a little bit for me when we did join EXP, because I was not real good at using a CRM. But I tell you what, KV Core was an absolute gift. If you're not real familiar with it, or if you're not an expert on it, literally there's excellent tutorials in our on-demand library, which is what I did one night. I sat down, went back to the basics. So if we get into that yo-yo, which happens because if you got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, you tend to do a lot of just keeping those deals headed towards the closing table, and you forget to lead generate. So I go back to the basics. Just as an example, we actually just ran a simple squeeze page KV Core ad, which takes like literally 2 seconds to make. If you don't have listings, get with your local, your brokerage in your state and your MLS. You can run any EXP listing, at least in Ohio. Check with your broker. And then to follow what Samantha said too, you don't have to put money behind it. You can go to KV Core. Ooh, you got some feedback. You can go to KV Core. That squeeze page, it takes 2 seconds, and then just post that on into your sphere. If you're a brand new agent, let them know, put a great listing up, especially one that's geared towards first-time home buyers maybe. And we did one ad 2 days ago. We have over 125 leads that have come in less than 48 hours. So that's a great way to get a boost if you're in that yo-yo, or if you're looking to start your business.
Great advice. Great advice on that. So I'm going to go next here to Carrie. And Carrie, you have to work on yourself, right? I mean, you got to be the best version of you. Where do you invest in yourself and in your education and your coaching?
Gosh, you've got some great questions here today. So at the very beginning, Brent Gove is in our network here and in Northern California. I find him to be absolutely phenomenal, a real icon type person to emulate. But with that being said, he puts on several seminars and brings in, I think, the best of the best. And so I started out with Sean Kokoska for coaching. I've moved over now to Grant Cardone. His no nonsense approach has just been really something to listen to. I really like his goals and how he pushes you. So I'm hoping I'm answering this question correctly, but in order to continue to grow, you cannot stay complacent. You have to keep reading, listening, even if it's some evening turning on YouTube. There is so much wealth of information, especially just even through EXP on YouTube. sometimes it's fun to even go outside of EXP and just see, okay, well, what is this person doing? What is this company doing? And then, bring it back. And a lot of times I'm like, well, I think EXP's already covered that. So I'm already glad we're ahead of that game. But you have to continue education. And I don't care if it's books, seminars, coaching, YouTubes. Just sky's the limit, but do not stop learning. And once you stop learning, you may as well take a break, because it's just new stuff, new information comes daily.
I love it, Carrie. When the leader stops learning, the leader should stop leading. That's the way that
I
we
love
say in our
that
house.
quote. That is a great quote. Excellent.
I wish I knew who said it so I could give him credit, but I'm going to claim it was mine. So there we go with that.
There you go.
So,
Jimism.
Real quick, Carrie, before I let you go on this one, how much did the Grant Cardone training cost you?
Well, there's a lot of free Grant Cardone training out there.
Right.
I first started out on free, and I learned so much just with that free. It was a pretty phenomenal too, because it wasn't just people in the United States. There was people from all over the world that were able to come in. So you're listening to different, branches and different tidbits and nuggets from all over. It was pretty incredible. Then if you do want to get a little more in depth, of course you're going to throw a little bit money out there. But what I find is every bit of money that I have thrown out has come back to me tenfold. It was kind of what I originally said at the very beginning of our talk here, is that you almost cannot not afford to do some of these extra things. If you can stay in your little bubble, in your little world, but if you do not branch out, this business will engulf you. So you really got to stay current, and don't be afraid to spend just a little bit extra to enhance it, and I promise you'll get it back tenfold.
I love that, Carrie. And that was actually a setup question. For those of you on the crowd who don't know it, Grant Cardone has free training. You can go in Workplace and get signed up for that, where you don't have to pay for it. That's there. And of course, all the different training, 55 plus live trainings every week in EXP World, where most brokers charge for that training. You have to pay for it. That's included here at EXP. I know the broker we came from before, that we shall not name, they were hitting us up for $800-900 for trainings, and here we were making the brokerage money. So it's included here at EXP. You can get a ton of training without having to actually put any money out of your pocket in the beginning. So I'm going to go next here to Samantha Ray. And Samantha, we're all about giving back here at EXP. We want to give back not just to the community, but also to other agents. How do you give back to other agents to help build them up and get rooted in the real estate business?
So any agents that I have attracted to EXP, I take them through an onboarding process and just make sure that they understand what's going on and that it's smooth. But besides those that I attract, so at 8 a.m. every Monday, I actually have a Zoom call with any agent from any brokerage, anywhere on the map. They can hop on, and I just talk, and it's really geared towards newer agents to help them build that momentum that they need. And it's really neat because I've had, and of course, most of it's local. I don't pay to advertise that either. But I've had agents from my hometown in Indiana hop on, and they've all walked away with little nuggets to help them. And I just think that's really awesome. And then at 9 a.m. on Mondays, I have a Team Samantha Joe. I don't have my own team, but the ones that I've attracted to EXP, we spend the next hour from 9 to 10 just sharing knowledge. And a lot of times we hop into KB Core so I can teach them different tricks, because KB Core is a little overwhelming. So anyway, that's what we do. And then of course, any agents that you're in a transaction with, you always want to be sure if they don't know exactly what they're doing, which we've all been there once before, right? Then help them along. Don't get frustrated with them. And that helps tremendously.
I love what Samantha Ray said. Great answer on that. And I want you to know, in the audience, if you're listening to this, and maybe you're an agent who's not even with EXP, I want you to know this. See, at EXP, yes, we have the best compensation plan in the industry. Yes, we have health insurance and soon coming life insurance and disability insurance. Yes, we have revenue share. Yes, we have the stock plan. Yes, we have KB Core. But what we have more than any place we've ever been in 24 years is we have a community of agents who are all working together We all want you to be on this stage. We want to give you what we have so that you can be up here. You can live the life of your dreams. You can have freedom to enjoy life and really experience what this real estate business can give you and your family. That's what we do here at EXP. That's what we are selling. It is a movement, to borrow the president of Global Expansion, Michael Valdez. It is a movement. There's a reason all the top leaders are coming here. It's because we are agents helping other agents. We love it. That's a great answer that you had there. Stephanie Gillison, we're going to you next. Tell us about your real estate experience in sales. Did you come to real estate with previous sales experience, or was real estate your first gig?
Real estate was my first gig, Jim. I was 21 years old and I had just graduated college. Well, actually, I got my license right before I graduated college. So aside from playing music in a couple of taverns in Richmond, I didn't have any other sales experience. But what I had was grit. We talked about that the other day, grind, and a passion for doing what's right. And just loving people in general, and not having a fear when I got into this business, because a lot of my friends were still in college, and how many 40, 50, 60-year-olds wanted to listen to a 21-year-old sell them a property, right? And so I kind of had to find my own sphere and really fumbled and struggled. And I say this every single day because it's so true. If I had a company back when I was 21 like EXP, where we do collaborate with each other, because we are all business partners and owners of this company. I mean, look at the education and the agent development that happens in this world every single day. And what I love about it is that, what makes a great salesperson is that you can never close your mind off from learning. And there was a part of my career where I thought, I know everything. Nobody can teach me anything. I think a lot of us go through that when we've been in the business so long. But the truth of the matter is that I learn every single day, and I listen and I plug into it. I've learned today from people that have been in the business way less time than I have. And that's one of the biggest benefits that we have here, is because as this world is always changing, as technology is always changing, we have to keep engaging. And this company engages each and every one of us better than any company on the planet. And that is so important. And a lot of us take that for granted. And so that is what I love the most about EXP. And that's what EXP has taught me, is that there is so much to learn in this business to truly master it. And that's what we're here doing every day. And that's why we do these panels.
I love it, Stephanie. Great answer. You're an absolute rock star on this. So I'm going to go to Mark next. Mark, you have tons of success. You're an icon agent, but lead with a little bit of failure here. What issues do you think limit your success?
I would say one of my weaknesses is time management. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know I want to be like Stephanie and I want to put everything on a schedule, but I just don't. I never put it into my business. I try to implement. My calendar says I'm supposed to do a bunch of stuff at a certain time, but I just don't stick to it. But that's to me. I've made it work within my business. I do have certain times. I actually turn my phone. I have 4 small children, and my wife and I both run this real estate team, so we're pretty busy. But I do turn my phone into do not disturb a few hours a day with an automated message saying I'm in an appointment. But I would say my biggest weakness, my kryptonite, is sticking to a schedule and staying to it and staying true to it and not squirreling when something else comes up. That's definitely something I think I know I can get better at.
Great answer. I love that, Mark. That's great. We had a question from the crowd. I'm going to scroll back here a second, but it was this. It was about advertising. This is to any of the 4 of you who are up there, 5 of you are up there. Have you ever asked people to advertise their listings? Maybe there's a new agent out there, right? And they don't have their own listings. Have any of you ever gotten around that? What have you done? That question's open to anybody that wants to answer it.
Yeah, I can take it. Yes, I've advertised other listings, and then I've had, every time I have a listing, I feel like I have a few EXP agents that reach out to me and say, can I advertise it? To me, yeah, I think of in abundance, just like, I've been taught that. So if they find a lead for it, great, get some business. My goal is to sell the listing. So if we can find a buyer for it, if we can find 20 buyers, if we can find 50 buyers, that's great. So within the EXP world, definitely like we share everything. So it's a really team mentality. So yeah, for sure, you can advertise the heck out of it. I don't care.
And just so we're clear, for your agents out there, make sure you check with your state broker. It's not legal in all states, but it was legal in ours in Ohio. And Stacy, you wanted to add something? Go ahead.
One thing that I'd like to point out too is I'm going to compliment someone on our team. She's done an amazing job. What she's done, obviously she talks to the agents, but she decided to try to start branding herself as a luxury agent. So she is going out there and it's Jeannie Zekin. She's going out there and taking luxury listings. And now that's all her social media feeds are full of these just beautiful $1 million houses. I thought that was really brilliant. I mean, make sure that it's not just to create, if you don't have a listing, maybe you want to start branding yourself. New builds is another one too. The new build reps in our area allow you to actually build ads off of their inventory homes.
Yep, that's a great one on that. So I'm going to stick with you, Stacy. We're coming back after Mark answered that. We're going to go with this. Did you start your career as a full-time agent or a part-time agent, and then why?
I was lucky enough that I did start in the new build industry, which obviously had a paycheck to it, and then we blended right into real estate. Jim got to step in as a part-time agent to my full-time business. I like to razz him about that.
Actually, somebody accidentally got pregnant. We don't know how that worked, but there you go. We put our dirty laundry out there in front of the entire EXP world. That's perfect.
So he had to step into our real estate business and take over. But I think this question actually helps people that are thinking about getting into real estate or just getting into real estate. We tell our team, if you do make that jump, you have to be dedicated to the system. You have to be dedicated and still treat it like a full-time job. That's 8 hours a day of lead generation. A lot of times we talk to our agents and we say, maybe for the first 6 months, blend yourself into the business.
Look, if you're somebody who's new and getting started, don't be afraid to have a job. Yes, you want to get into it full time, but in the beginning, last thing you want to do is have what we call commission breath. And what I mean by that is this: when your buyer or seller knows you need that commission because that's the only thing you have, they know you need that $10,000 because you need to pay your mortgage. Look, they can start to wonder about your ethics, like, hey, are they really doing this to help me, or do they just need a paycheck? So it's okay in the beginning. Have your job, put your money away, but yes, work full time on it. A lot of people think that, well, if I'm part-time, I'm only going to work. No, you work your 8-9 hour job, and then you put 8 hours a day into real estate, and you hustle, like Gary Vaynerchuk says. It's the grind, and you get after it. So I like that, Stacey. That's great. So let's go next here to Carrie. Carrie, why do you want to sell real estate? Tell people why.
Well, funny story. I am in the agricultural world. So, matter of fact, I have owned a feed and ranch supply store for years and years, over 20-something years. And my daughter has taken that part of it over because, not to give you my sad story here, but, lifting 2,000 pounds a day, hay and grain was getting a little bit old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So then I thought, well, what do I want to do? What excites me? What's something I've always enjoyed? And it's been real estate. Just even on my side from flipping, kind of buy, sell, that type of a deal. So as you just mentioned earlier, I decided to go into real estate full time, and it's very difficult to have a part-time job because, as we all know, real estate, it is a full-time job. It's if you want to take care of your clients and you want to take care of everyone properly, you need to focus 100% on that. So my daughter took over our family business, which has given me time now to focus 100% on real estate. And so like I said, I'm more on the ag part of it. I sell a lot of ranches, horse and cattle and hay ranches and so forth, as well as residential. And I love agriculture. I love the selling. I love the buying. But more importantly, I have been in retail business and sales forever. I love people. And what a wonderful business if you really love people and then you love your community on top of that. It's all just a win-win. I get to still do my agriculture. I get to deal with people. I get to buy and sell. I love real estate. So that is what keeps me going.
Carrie, I love that answer. And I got to tell you, when Stacy and I open up the dictionary here and we look up the word farmer, we don't see your picture in there. I just we don't see that from here on that. But great answer on that. We're going to go to Samantha Ray next. Samantha, describe an epic failure. So here's the thing. A lot of times newer agents, right, they always see all the success up here. But describe a failure that you had that changed the way you have your business strategy.
Gosh, that one's tough, Jim. You're really good at this.
I like to stump you. You guys are all superstars. I got to throw the hard ones at you.
Well, you know, let's just be completely honest here. I'm just gonna humble myself, and I am very headstrong. The way I grew up, my household, not to get too personal, but I didn't have a really strong family. And so I see things through a different lens sometimes, and I'm very skeptical about people, very cynical. And I don't feel like others can get things done. I've been let down so much growing up that I just know that if I want to get something done, I need to do it, and I don't necessarily need to believe other people. And that affected me when I first got in the business, trusting other real estate agents. So people were pretty mean to me when I first got in the business. And I think a lot of new real estate agents do experience that, unfortunately, from seasoned agents. You know, new agents come in and the seasoned agents just get frustrated. But they were pretty mean to me. And because of my background, I didn't take it well. And I kind of let them know where they stand with me. And I was pretty headstrong. And I will tell you, in the very beginning, I ruined a lot of relationships that I wish I would have handled things differently. Now, all of that is fine now. I'm friends with everybody. But in the very beginning, I just wish I would have approached other agents differently, even when they're the ones who gave me the hard time because I was the new agent. I just wish I would have handled things differently. So if there are any new agents listening, take my advice. Keep a cool head. You know, don't always assume that other agents are out to get you, even if they are. Just be the bigger person, and it'll make a world of difference. I had to work very, very hard to save those relationships a couple years down the road.
Samantha, I got to tell you, that story, I guarantee, is resonating out there with a ton of agents right now. That is great. I love those kind of stories. That's awesome. Connecting with people. It's okay to screw up. You can recover and be a superstar like Samantha. It's awesome like that. So there was a question here from the crowd, Samuel in Michigan, and I'm going to go here next to Stephanie. Actually, I'm going to let any of the five of you answer this. It could be all five of you if you want. What is your next goal or move? We'll start with Stephanie, and anybody else who wants to jump on that question too. What's your next goal or move? Samuel from Michigan would like to hear it.
Well, you know, mine's probably different than most. Obviously, I want my team to keep doing the business that they're doing and build that and be superstars in all aspects of real estate. But my next goal and mission is, you know, and I'll be honest, I'm 43 years old, and starting in the business at 21. You know, always being that entrepreneur on my own. You know, my mission in life is now to turn commercial real estate brokerage on its head and teach every single one of them to think differently, operate differently, and expose eXp Commercial and what we're building to all of them, because they're going to see that we've put together those tools, we've put together those answers for every single one of them to be successful once they see it. And so to build this brand, to spread our mission, but also, you know, take commercial real estate where the average commercial broker or agent is a 62-year-old white man. That's the truth. We know that from a market research statistic that we got back that we've conducted. I want to see more women in commercial real estate. I want to see everybody in commercial real estate. You know, you don't have to wait until you're 50 years old to start pursuing commercial real estate. And so my goal is that we build, just like eXp Realty has built this organization to be completely agent-centric and to develop the best of the best when it comes to real estate. We want to do the same on the commercial side. And so that's my new mission. And I'm not going to stop until we get there. And, that's the goal. So that's where we are.
And I know you're going to do it. Anybody else on the panel like to jump in on what's your next goal or your move? All right, if not, then I'm going to wrap up with the last one here, and we're getting ready to be done. We have about 1 minute for each person, and I'm going to start with Mark down here at the end. Mark, if there was one thing that people in the audience that you could give them that would help them today build their business, let's say they're a newer agent, they're trying to get to that next level, what's one tip, one piece of advice in 60 seconds you could give them?
Yeah, listen to people. You're an agent. Our job is to help people. It's not to make commission checks. It's not even really to sell houses. That's just the vehicle we do it. I would say listen to them and problem solve with them. It's a stressful time to buy and sell a house, and we are their confidant, we're their advisor, we're their therapist. So listen as much as you can, and don't think about what you're going to say next. Have your scripts ready, but just listen and react.
Great stuff. It is a hostile market for buyers out there right now. Stacy, one piece of advice for them in 60 seconds or less.
Lean on your upline. All your newer agents out there, when you start attracting some business via your sphere or something, and they ask, how long have you been in real estate? We tell our team, the way to say it is us, my partners, we've been doing business for almost 2 decades. We've sold over 250 million in real estate. So always lean on your upline. They'll help you use their stats, use their help.
Yep. You can borrow your upline success story, and you can use that. My business partner and I, especially if you're a new agent, you've never sold a house, they ask you that question. So how many homes have you sold? Well, my business partner and I have, and blah, 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 and you go on with there. If you don't know where to find your upline, you go into your revenue share chart, and there's a button you can click, and it'll tell you 7 levels up, the names and the contact information of your upline, and you can go with that. Carrie, 60 seconds or less, one piece of advice for the audience that they could use today.
Never stop learning. Continue your education, no matter where it is and where it comes from. It's the key to your success.
Love it, Carrie. That's great. Samantha, same question to you. We're wrapping up here. 60 seconds for you and 60 seconds for Stephanie.
I would say don't focus on blowing your sphere up. Don't focus so much on cold calling and cold messaging people. Work more on how can you attract business to you, because then real estate will be a lot more fun. If you are working with people who like you, know you, and trust you already, your world's going to be so much less stressful.
I love that, Samantha. I was taught all you need to do if you want to do 50 transactions a year is create 50 super fans, 50 people that love you so much that if anybody within 10 feet of them mentions the word real estate, they connect you on a 3-way text or a Facebook message. That's great. Stephanie, to wrap it up, to knock it out of the park, you're the cleanup hitter here. 6 seconds, one piece of advice for the crowd that they could use today.
Commitment on every level, from starting with Mark about listening. Commit to being that great listener. Commit to staying in contact with your sphere. Commit to learning. Always commit to learning. And, Jim, you are such a phenomenal moderator. And I just appreciate being on a panel where you're moderating, but you were 100% committed to this task. And that's what happens when we have 100% commitment. If you commit, it's always going to be great. It just always will be.
I love it. Great advice. So I want to thank all of you for coming today and watching iConversations. If you're watching this and you're not with EXP, get back with the person that sent it to you and shared this with you, because here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help realtors around the world. We're selling local, we're building global, and what we're looking to do is change the fundamental aspects of real estate to allow people to have freedom in their life, to have multiple streams of revenue, to have the things of like health insurance and leveraged income, and being able to help agents all around the world. And together, all of us can go out and we can
you want to know where you can listen to the recording, you can actually, anyone can listen to it if you go to youtube.com/EXP Realty. There's a series of all of the past iConversations there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Samantha, thank you. And I may be reaching out to you because I connect with you so well on so many things, but the whole panel was awesome. So thank you.
Aw, thank you.
Thanks, Samantha from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Well done.
Any chance Stephanie is still available? I wanted to know about the inside real estate text messaging she was talking about.
Oh, you mean the text codes?
That was in KV Core, I think.